All right, official Mason Jones Artwork YouTube video. I'm gonna be showing you guys some behind the scenes stuff and showing you my summer 2024 clothing collection. And yeah, this is just gonna be a lot of behind the scenes stuff and kind of just showing like what I'm making for it, how I'm making it. So a lot of tie-dyeing, of course, and kind of how I go my unique ways, I guess, of tie-dyeing and the vision for this shoot. Super cool professional photo shoot coming in. I got a couple photographers helping out with that, a couple stylists. We have like 10 models for the shoot. It's gonna be super dope, and basically just wanted to show you guys the process and the behind the scenes and kind of just, yeah, show you how it goes down. All right, so let's get into how exactly I'm making and designing the hoodies for this collection. Basically, what I'm using for this mainly is actually this stuff called Out White Bright right here. And this is what's going to allow me to remove the color from clothing. Bleach can just damage the clothing and eat away at the clothing and kind of like burn it almost. And it will do that over time, whereas this stuff right here does not do that at all. All right, so I'm just in my sink downstairs. I just threw these two crew necks in here and I'm just getting them all wet, and then I'll bring them upstairs. I'll spin dry them so they'll be just kind of barely damp, and then we'll start to remove that color. All right, so this thing right here is my Panda spin dryer. This is where I put all my garments into and kind of spin them out and get them to the nice dampness that I want before I dye them. And my cat seems to be having some fun on the ground. This is Banks. What are you doing? So how this thing works is I basically just take my wet clothing item and you kind of have to like evenly put it in there, or else it'll like wobble when you start to spin it. So you want to make sure that goes in there kind of nice and flat. All right, so now this thing is starting to pick up speed and it spins really fast. Obviously just gets out all the water. And I like to let it spin for a little bit longer when doing this one because I want to make sure that I'm getting a lot of that extra water out. So that should be good. So now these are nice and damp. They're not nearly as wet. And it's a little bit easier for me to dye them. All right, so how I go about doing my split dyed kind of yin yang hoodie, throwing this nice kind of like S shape through it. So I'm just gonna start, doesn't have to be perfect either. And then what I'm doing is just pinching and following this line as precisely as I can. So now that I got this scrunched up in this kind of accordion fold, I'm just taking my sinew and I'm just following that line that I made with the marker, and I'm going to pull kind of loosely and then pull tighter and tighter, and that's going to be good enough. I'm going to take out some rubber bands. This is the side that I'm not going to be dyeing, so I'm just going to like simply and loosely kind of fold this up. Really, it doesn't really matter. All right, so now for the fun part, we can remove the color from this side of the crew neck. I'm gonna put my mask on right now. I'm gonna sound like Bane probably, and then yeah, we'll just show you guys how this goes down. So what I do is just spread this, do like a thin layer and just spread it over the top, pour this right over top, and just instantly the color is just gonna start to come out. So it just kind of instantly turns into this like really light yellow. And then same thing here on the back side. So same thing to the back here. So I'm liking how this is looking, and now I'm gonna go take it down to my sink and run some cold water through it for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'll wash it and dry it. All right, so after washing and drying the crew necks that we just removed the color from, this is what they're looking like. Really like it, came out basically perfect. And for the washing and drying process, I'm doing that just like you would with any other clothing item. I'm washing them separately just as is, and I'm just using, you know, maybe a tablespoon of detergent with a couple, or like 2 to 4 hoodies or crew necks at a time. Now that I showed you how I go about making the crew necks, now we are going to tie-dye the tapestries and backdrops for the photo shoot. So this is going to be very interesting. I think I know how I'm going to go about it. I wasn't sure at first. I was thinking of ice dyeing, but I think I'm going to bottle dye them. But they're sitting in a soda ash bath right now. I'm going to wring them out, and I'm going to head downstairs and actually kind of draw them up how I want to dye them. All right, so let's just go ahead and spread this tapestry out and just like see what we're working with as far as room goes. So I realized that this is the wrong size tapestry, and I bought 5 of these, so that's super fun. I bought 5 more new ones after I just realized these are the wrong size. The ones I'm getting are gonna be 85 inches by 100 inches. So let's just go about this as if it were a bigger one, and I'll just dye this one just to see what it's like. All right, so how I'm gonna go about this is same exact design and kind of style as the hoodies, where I'm doing that S pattern. And then I'm gonna just use just a washable marker, and hopefully I can do a decent job creating this S shape. This is gonna be really hard though. Never done this, of course, especially on something this big. So I'm gonna do a little test walkthrough, I guess, but I'm basically gonna do something like that. This is a washable marker, so it doesn't really matter. And I can just kind of mess up and then take it from there though. Or I'll just do it perfect the first try. Look at that, look at that. Always practice, see? There we go. So now the hard part is just gonna be folding this nicely. All right, so again, kind of the same thing as the hoodie, but basically just doing like a 1-inch pleat, and I'm just gonna follow this line till we get to the other side. All right, so just gonna double check kind of the lines here. That looks pretty good. And then I'm just gonna make this a little bit smaller so it's easier to wrap coming around it. And then we're just gonna tie this nice and tight right where our line is that we followed. Pull it nice and tight, just like that. That's gonna be good enough. And then we'll just cut right about there, tie this off, and then we can just scrunch dye both of these sides quick. All right, so tapestry is damp now, and we are just gonna scrunch dye these sides up. So we'll start, pick a side, and the thing is with this too is it doesn't have to be pretty at all. You're just wanting to make sure that you don't have a ton of huge like overlapping folds. I'm gonna be throwing down a lot of dye on this side of things, so it shouldn't matter too much, doesn't need to be pretty. Just kind of start to go and look something like that, and then you're gonna bandage it up quick. So nothing super tight. That's why we're using bandages instead, or rubber bands. Same thing on the other side. All right, so we got it looking like that, and now it's time to dye it up. So for this one, I'm gonna give Houdini Blue a try. That little star means you have to double the amount per. I'm using 16 ounces, so it would be like 4 tablespoons. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons and see how that looks. And then with these, I'm gonna mix rust brown in orange crush and hopefully get kind of this like burnt orange look. All right, so I was in my bathroom testing and mixing a ton of different dye combinations to try to color match this hoodie correctly. So I wanted a nice, like, try to make a bright, solid cobalt blue. And then I kind of made a kind of burnt orange color. And then as far as the dyeing process goes for this, pretty simple. Just dyeing obviously each side one of the colors, and I'm just throwing down a ton of dye because I do not want a lot of white in here. I want this to be completely basically the color that I'm using here. And that's okay, we don't need to get perfect, but again, this is just kind of a test one to see how this is gonna go. So I'm basically gonna use probably all of the dye in this bottle. So that was just kind of doing the top layer. I need to get in here and kind of get in between the folds and making sure that this dye is actually seeping all the way through, because we want this to be basically a solid color here. Doesn't need to be super perfect, but just want to make sure we're getting a lot of dye down. So that's it for the blue side, and then we can head into the orange side now. I actually really like this color. It is really just like a nice burnt orange. And then what I'll do is just do the same thing to the back side, and then I'll just close this up and let this sit for at least 24 hours to make sure it really adheres to the cotton. Right, so now that we have that side dyed, we'll flip it over and I'll throw down a lot more dye. Again, making sure it's just very saturated. Right, so this is it for the first tapestry, and then I have to make 5 more of those. Just in different colorways and of the right size. So I have some of the right size ones coming in, which are going to be a lot bigger. So more dye and more effort on those ones, but that'll be the gist of kind of how those are made. And then next thing we'll get into are the Dickies pants. All right, let's get into making the Dickies pants. I got 3 pairs of Dickies pants that I'm going to make. I'm just getting these off of Amazon. And yeah, let's dye them. All right, so we got some hoodies done, we got some Dickies pants done, and now we're gonna do some bandanas. All right, so we got our bananas tied up, and we are going to mix up a ton of colors to match the colorways of the 5 hoodies that we got for this collection, and then we'll have fun with the other ones. All right, so we're gonna do some of these tote bags matching this, so like pink and yellow, which I really like that hoodie a lot. All right, so we got the sewing machine behind me along with my cat, and yeah, we're basically just gonna set this thing up. I have never used one of these exactly, but yeah, and then we're gonna get to sewing, so. All right, so this has been quite the journey. Washing machine just decided to break, which is not good because it's Wednesday. Still have to wash out all of the tapestries or backdrops. Doing some stitching now, which I can show you guys. But yeah, it's all right. We'll figure it out. Hopefully maintenance can fix that today. But sewing is the next project here that I'm going to show you guys. Also, sewing's like the easiest, hardest thing ever, if that makes sense. But anyway, I got these custom labels made. Kind of have the logo on the front, and then on the back, I just put authentic, handmade. MJA, Mason Jones Artwork. So when I'm sewing these, basically what I'm doing is just putting a needle to help hold the label in place through the back and the front. It's a little easier on the tote bags because they are flat and straight compared to the hoodies, which are thicker and just simply harder to use. And basically all I'm doing is doing a simple straight stitch through these. And yeah, we can run through this one real quick. All right, you guys, so we have officially moved to Plan B about the tapestries. Checked in with the company. They're not going to ship them until July, so ran to Target, got some sheets, and I had to get a whole sheet set because they don't just sell the flat sheet. So in here, though, there's a flat sheet that's 81 inches by 96 inches, which is basically perfect. The tapestries were going to be like 85 by 100, I think. So this is going to work just fine, really. They're not 100% cotton, which is unfortunate, and they're 60%, but that is enough to take the dye. So yeah, now let's get into dyeing some tapestries. All right, so we finally have all of our colors mixed. We got the tapestries tied up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down there. I gotta show you. You guys are gonna laugh. Look at my bathroom in here. So this is where I'm doing all of the mixing of my dyes, literally trying to figure out like what even is going on in here. Trying to figure out what exactly is the color. So I'm dyeing something, running over here, looking at it. Is it color matched or not? I use these little swatches to just dye really quick, look at it, bring it up to the hoodie, you know. But those are also like faded, so they're kind of lighter and darker in certain areas, so they're not kind of impossible to directly color match them. So just trying to get the base color as accurate as I can. All right, let's tie-dye all these.
Hey, product haul.
Unboxing.
Yay. Wait, I need to show them all the packages.
We've only unpacked 2.
Oh my gosh.
This is my dream.
It's Christmas. Christmas came early. Oh, baby.
I love this. Oh, those are so good.
Look at those.
Speaking of shoes. Wait, I need to grab the hoodie to show with it.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? Or are you kidding me?
June 8th, right? Photo shoot day. I got everyone's kind of getting set up. Ties figuring out. Ties out. Noah Craft getting ready. Yeah, a lot going down. Models are hanging out. Lab's got hair and makeup. Beautiful clothing on the rack. And yeah, here are all the wonderful clothes. And then we'll be shooting mainly these, so split dye hoodies. And then, yeah, all the accessories and whatnot. all the lovely shoes.
Woo!
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my god. It's crazy to see it all actually come in. Yeah.
More beautiful people that are here, ready to shine.
There we freaking go. One sec. Okay, it's coming back out. Give me some big laughs, gossip about your students. Oh my gosh. Huh. You two look that way, and then you two look that way, and there we go. Okay, son, look right at me. 3, 2, 1. Can we get out of these sweatshirts there? Yeah. Shorts, hands off. And then maybe like, wait, the light is keep that. Turn around. Oh, this one. This one, yes. Take the pick out, put it on the other side. There. The dynamics! Perfect! The bag, don't you? I'm getting the bag, we'll put the towels in the bag. If that's okay. Just like that. Perfect. Walk towards my camera. Thank you. Oh yes. Come on. I'm gonna freak out. There. That light. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Boom. I don't know how I'm gonna like narrow this down. Here's no work. Go back to that. Oh my gosh, Nyla. So good. I like it. Turn to me. Done. Oh my god, so cute! Oh, that's so good! Okay,
All right, you guys, so that is a wrap for the 2024 summer collection. If you've made it this far in the video, please subscribe. I'm trying to get some more subscribers. This is my first YouTube video. I plan to make some more and also kind of do more behind the scenes, like how I make my hoodies. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. And that's something I will definitely do more of then if that's what people are wanting. So yeah, this shoot was insane. It was amazing. Shout out to Ty for being so awesome. Absolutely killed it during the shoot and put in a ton of work and effort. And to everyone else who did too, really appreciate it. To be able to do something like this that, you know, me and Ty were able to create and like actually come to fruition is super cool. So can't say thank you enough. That's a wrap for summer collection. Yeah, peace and love.